I'm playing Half-Life Alyx first at low fidelity, and I'm going to be looking at how the first opening scene performs. I'm recording at 1920 by 1080 at 30 FPS, and I'm using MSI Afterburner. I started the MSI Afterburner benchmark wrong, so ignore these numbers. My PC specs are in the description, and on low fidelity it felt pretty smooth, and the only FPS drops were when first loading in. The game still looks really good on lower settings, and throughout I could not notice the difference between the high settings and the low settings. So then on high fidelity, the game, in my opinion, looks the same, and in this scene also performs the same. However, when I played a bit further into the game, there were some noticeable drops. For example, in this scene, the FPS stays reasonably steady but then drops to 40 at one point, which I would say is unplayable for some areas in the game, as it is VR and drops like that can cause pretty bad motion sickness. So I changed it back to low fidelity with high textures and medium particles, and again, on the opening scene, it performed pretty well, as expected. No drops, and it still looks better than any other VR game I've played. Moving on to a different scene, I'm playing on low fidelity, and this scene is a very different scene to render than the opening scene. It starts off laggy, then goes to a solid 80 FPS, and there are no further FPS dips. Then on to medium fidelity, it still stays at 80 FPS, no matter where I look. My graphics card isn't maxing out at 100% yet, meaning that maybe if I increased a graphics setting up by 1, it would not affect performance and I'd get a better looking image. There's still a reasonably solid 80 FPS, even in combat, and when explosives are set off. For example, when I'm fighting the zombie head crab people, it doesn't seem to go anywhere near 40 FPS. Sorry that there's no audio, even though I'm pretty sure that I do remember checking that there was audio, but I guess I just forgot to record it. But on high settings, the game gets very laggy to start with, and there are a few dips, which I would say is not that playable, and I wouldn't recommend using it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye. See ya.